Okay. So whoever is joining newly today, drop your emails in the chat box so that I will provide access for you guys. So you can go and access class one, how to install Java and how to install Eclipse and set up Java path. And Eclipse overview is also available in those videos. So after that, we had one more Java class, which is the basics of Java, how to create a Java project, how to create a class, what are class variables, and how do you declare a method, and how to write main method and execute Java. So that's I will give a quick recap on those today, as well as I will give supporting links of any YouTube channel which you can see how to create class variables and all, because in previous class we couldn't record it correctly. We missed that class. Okay, so in this class, let's see what are the agenda and all. If you're not having any questions, please go on mute, please. First, let me quickly open the drive link, and I'll quickly show you. Give me a minute, please. Which core Java is required for a basic automation tester or a basic core Java developer. Suppose if you listen to this 8 to 10 days of classes, right? So these 10 days of classes will give you comfortability to write Selenium test automation test cases, APM and API. And if you are working with API testing, you will understand what are the core Java basics. So, so these core Java basics are nothing but it will make you comfortable to understand some language, what are the loops, what are the variables, and kind of the descriptive programming skills. Suppose if you have a problem, you know what is the solution for that. How do you implement that solution in a coding language? So that is what this aim of the core Java class. Once I finish core Java, right, then I will teach you on Selenium. So the database, we are covering MySQL database. This is the MySQL database. So only one hour video is there, 1 to 1.5 hour video. So here there is a video which a class which I have already taken last week, MySQL server and workbench installation and setup. So if you refer to this video, it clearly shows you how to download MySQL server and workbench, install that one, and after installation, how do you do the SQL schema setup? Like how do you create a database schema, and how do you create table? How do you create columns? And what are the different types of commands? DDL, DCL, DML commands. So those things overview I have given in this class. So whoever joining today newly to this session, right? So refer to this class, and after this class, so I also covered how do you work with uh, uh, MySQL with the different clients. Suppose if you learn MySQL, it is same for all Oracle and other MS SQL and all. So MySQL is open source, so we are working on MySQL. Are you guys clear with this? So, like new participants, Pritika, Niranjan, Surya, and Divya, and Uday. So kindly go to this MySQL class. It approximately takes 1.5 to 2 hours. So practice this, download, install in your local machines, and do the CRUD operations. If you have any questions, we can discuss in next class. So in core Java, so day one, so there is a video already available here. So this is like how do you download Java, from where you can download. After you download, how to install, how to set up the path in environment variables. What is the need for setting up the path in environment variables? and how do you download Eclipse and install Eclipse. So that's and writing a first program. That is the first class, uh, in Java for the Eclipse. Second class is like, we have discussed on classes, variables, methods, data types, packages, and static keyword. But unfortunately, the recording, there was only 6 minutes of recording. Later, I'm not sure why it's not created. So I'll give a quick recap on the core Java concepts today, and you can refer to those. I'll also give supporting links in the lab notes. And one more thing I want to cover. So I'll not have any PPTs for the classes what I'm taking. Everything what I do will be practical, and if anything theory is there, I'll explain the theory straight away in Notepad. Okay, that's the best way to learn, I believe. So if you see here, every day there will be these the lab notes. I'll follow the same notes till entire the end of the class. So in day one, we have these are the topics which we have covered, and this is the assignments which I have given to you guys. So like complete the lab as per class. If you see the video, so what is the class that we have done, we can then read about JDK, JRE, and JVM. And so there are few Java concepts which I asked you to read about. Second day, so we worked on these topics in core Java. And so these are the things which I have worked, and I have given assignment for second day. So in the assignment, you can see, right? So what read about data types and strings, string class and methods, memory management in Java, and you will also have a link from where you can read the particular things which I have referred. And practical lab, what you need to do. So create packages as per the class and the model class, and work on that one. So these are the ones which we have done so far. So today in the day three class, I'll cover the few more concepts of the same which we discussed in day two, and then we will go to day three part. Any questions so far?
No, Harish.
No.
Okay. So first, as soon as I start the class, I'll clear if any blockers are there in the previous lab for you guys. Suppose if you guys don't have any blockers, then I'll start with the today's agenda. So similarly, today's agenda would be, let's create a Java class, declare some variables. Let's see what are the data types, how to declare a method, how to create package, and our main focus would be today is how to create instance or a object of a class in Java. Okay, and we will also write a program to accept the values from user input, which means, see, so far what we have done. So we declared a values, we assigned some value 10, 20 like that directly hard coded way in the Java program itself. So for example, I want to dynamically give the value myself from the console, and it should take that value, process, and give me the output. So far what we have seen from the console, you just see the hello world or the output or whatever the execution code, right? Today we will see how to take input from system. Okay, user input from system. So let's see these two topics today, and we'll recap this quickly. Okay. So with the intention that everyone will be uh, able to successfully install Eclipse and create job project, I'll quickly start from here. Okay. So if you want to create a new job project in Eclipse, so click on File, Create, and click on New Job Project. Or you can also right click here and click on New Object. So let me give the name as core Java essentials. Just give me a sec. Yeah, so that's how you create a project. Right click, click on new, and click on project. So there is a folder, source folder. So let me create. So let me create a new class. So I will say this as class example. I'll create a package com dot. Our company is SAC9. So I'll put the name of the company, and I'll say core Java dot fundamentals. So this is my package which will be created. So I want a main method. I want to generate comments who has built this class. Okay. So this is how you will be creating a class in Eclipse. Okay. So author is Harish, and so I don't want these comments here. So I have main method and a simple class called class example. So you know, right, how this is how a simple Java class will look like. Uh, so once you create a Java class, then you will have I'll create a main method, so that we can write some code in main method and we can execute this one. Okay. So let's see how to declare variables here. Okay. So declaring variables. So what is the way, standard way that we use to declare variables? First, what is the data type of variable? So the data type. Otherwise, in other case, you can write less. What is the access modifier first? What access modifier you want to use, and what data type is the kind of variable, and name of the variable. Suppose if you're declaring the value of the variable. So this is the definition to create a variable, right? Say public. What is I want to create integer a, and the value should be 10. So here, since you're specifying inside a main method, right? You It's not necessary for you to specify the access modifier. Suppose if you are specifying out of the class, out of the main method, the access modifiers are required. Why? Because this class can be accessed from anywhere in the application. So that's why the variable which is represented here will be used from anywhere, from any class from the application. So that's why if you are writing inside a method, right, the scope of the variable will be only to this method. So here, if I'm writing inside main method, the scope of a will be only from whatever the method where it will start till end. So only till this area, the local scope of a variable will be available. Okay. So int a equal to 10. So similarly, I want to specify one more variable, int b equal to 20.
Harish, repeat that once again, Harish. If we specify inside the method,
Yeah. So if you specify the variable here, int a equal to 10, right? So what is the variable name here? Variable name is a. So the variable name a, if you specify here, the scope will be only inside this method. Since you are in specifying, okay, let me create one more method here. Int add int a comma int b. So there is one more method here, integer add. So, sorry, add is a method. Here, one method is called main. You know why main method is used in Java? Because whenever you execute any program in Java, if you start executing, the executor, the Java execution point will point out to it, look for the main method. So here is the main method. So it will start executing from this first. Then if you are referring from here to here, then it will start executing. Now you declared a variable int a here. So you also declared one more variable here, int a. So this a is different from this particular a. Why? Because the scope of this a will end only inside this flower bracket, inside this method. Similarly, suppose if you see here, just give me a second. Hello, speaking. Sorry for that. So suppose if you, so here I'm declaring one more variable called a. Okay. So for assume, so let's see. So I'm declaring one more variable a here. So this a is different from this a. Why? Because the declaration of the variable is done inside add method. Here you have declared the same variable name, but it is in main method. So this a will be different from this a. Suppose if you see here, string, sorry, int a equal to 0. Okay. So if you see here, one more in the class level itself, I have declared one more variable. Okay. So now this is the global variable. So which will be referred anywhere inside the class. Inside the class means that will not include the methods. So this is one method. This is second method. But this is the inside class. Suppose if I am writing any code here, so that in this code, this global variable will be referred. So this is called global variable. This is called local variable, and this is also called as local variable to this method. When you call a local variable, a variable where its scope is limited only to its method, that time you call that variable as local variable. When you call it a global variable, when you declare a variable inside a class, and this variable will be used across the application, then you call it as a global variable. Uh, uh, did you understand, Kirtan?
Yeah, Rish. Let me tell you that if int a equal to 10 is limited to only that main method, right?
Yeah,
From opening to floor bracket to closing to floor bracket.
yeah.
If next a comes after the floor bracket, it will automatically take an a equal to 0.
Not a equal to 0. So even if you declare here the
Mm-hmm.
same one, int a equal to
Mm-hmm.
0, so this is
Mm-hmm.
like it's not related anywhere to this method. This is like a class
Yeah.
variable. This is method variable.
Okay.
So that's how you can
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So we have seen how to declare variable. So let's see. I'll create one more variable result, and I'll sum up the value of a plus b, and I'll store the value of result, and I'll print result here. System.out.println is a print statement which is used in Java to print here.
Harish, one more thing. Why it has been mentioned return result in add method, Harish?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
but not
I
in
have
main
not
method.
explained methods yet. We will come there.
Okay.
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 So now if you see here, so the Java execution pointer has come here to main method. So it initialized the variable a equal to 10, b equal to 20, and we declare one more variable type of integer to result, and a plus b equal to we'll store inside the result. We are printing that value. That value is nothing but 30. So this is how you declare a int variable, right? So similarly, suppose if I want to declare double variable. So how many kinds of variables are there in core Java? So,
Um, 8, Harish. 8.
uh, so you can't tell a number. So you can tell primitive and non-primitive types. Um, one second. Let me show you this figure. So if you see here, so these are the data types in Java. They're primitive data types and non-primitive data types. Okay. So non-primitive data types are like string, array. So just keep them in mind. Other things are like you have non-primitive data type classes like integer, double, character, like that. So don't worry about them for now. You just assume that if someone will ask you how many data types are there in core Java, there are two kinds of data types. One are primitive data types and the other one are non-primitive data types. Under primitive data types, so you forget about all these categorization and classification. In the below you can see boolean, okay, and character, byte, short, int, long, float, double. So just remember only these data types. That's more than enough for you until you become, senior Java architect. Also, you will be using only these variables mostly. Okay, and string is very prominent in very Java, and which is very really important for you to understand string class. So I'll take a separate class for string in here. So Boolean means, what is Boolean? So it's a general. So whatever we understand, right? So if you see here, Boolean means true or false. In other cases, zeros or ones. That's called as Boolean data type. So for example, you have a scenario where I want to know if particular employee name is male or female. If it is male, it should be true. If it is female, it should be false. So, for example, I'll pass in those scenarios. What kind of data type you can use? You want to specify true or false, right? So you will use Boolean for those scenarios. And byte is nothing but it will have 8 bits. See, one more important thing you need to keep in mind is size. What is the size of Boolean? It is just 1 bit. It is either 0 or 1, only one, right? And for byte it is 8 bits. So 8 bits means two, it is like it can hold values up to 127, minus 128 to plus 127. So here I specified value here. So for example, byte byte a value equal to 134. So you have a compilation error, right? So see, suppose if I reduce the value here 126, will not have any error. Why? Because byte cannot have a value more than 127. Okay, and also it cannot have value less than 128. So the storage of byte is just 8 bytes, where 8 bytes means you can have maximum of value of 127. You take any very simple application like school, you will have more than 500 or 600 students, right? So you can't use byte in this case. So next variable is character, right? So what is character? So character can hold only one value. So byte. So here, let's say gender. So character gender equal to, I'll specify as M. Sorry, you can't put, this is for string, double quotes. For character, you should use single quotes. Okay. So character example. So character gender M. So for example, if I say if I put MF, it won't accept. Why? Because character can hold only one alphanumeric character at a time. It can be anything, A, B, C till Z, or 0 to 9. Even you can put numbers. So you can put 9. So it can have, even you can put symbols, but it can store only one alphanumeric and value at a time. So it can't hold more than one alphanumeric characters at a time. Okay, suppose if you want to store a name, right? My name is Harish, so I can just put H here, but there will be several names for Harish, right? Harish, Harsha, like that, Harikiran, like that. So multiple names will come, so you can't use character for these kind of scenarios. So characters will be used only to specify some currency values like dollars or euro, something like that. In those scenarios, we'll be using character variable. Suppose if you want to have more like store names and all, so you can use string example. String. How do you declare string in Java? So just type capital S, string is a class, string, and name of the variable is name. I'll say as person name equal to you need to see, remember one thing, there's a thumb rule in Java. If you're passing something, always pass inside double quotes. If you're passing string in Java, it should be always in double quotes. The value of string should be always in double quotes. So Harish, so how do you declare character? Always it should be in single quotes. For string, it should be in double quotes. Integer, you directly declare the value. Why? Because it's a number. You can't put number in like a word, right? So integer means you directly declare the number. Byte is also same, and all these are numeric data types, right? So for example, we missed one more double example. I'll put, so we have a data type called double a double equal to some value 20.0, and we have one more example, float. So let's see what is the value for float here. So short.
You need to put the F curry.
Yeah. So for short, we'll see that here. Yeah, up to we need to put it as F at the end. Okay. So let's see one by one. Character we have seen. Shorts is very similar to byte. So byte can store up to 127, right? But short can store up to 32,000 only. Suppose if you think that your application values will not go beyond 32,767 value, we can use short. If you use integer, this is a decent number where you can store, but integer is double the value of short, which is like size in 32 bits. Long is double the value of integer, which can store up to this value. Okay, and float at the end we need to put F. uh, See the difference between all these are numeric ones, right? So in these numeric ones, byte, char, short, int, long, all these doesn't have any decimal points. Decimal means dot. After dot, you will have some values. It doesn't have anything. But float and double will provide you that feature to store the decimal points after the value after decimal points here. So float is of 32 bits. If double if you use, it's of 64 bit. So for float, okay. So for float, you need to just put F for the end. So this is how you declare different kind of data types and different variables. So any questions so far? See,
No.
yeah. So for the people who are attending this class for first time, I know it's directly explaining directly in data types and classes. It's kind of bit advanced level. So what you can do, you refer to the videos, install yourself, get comfortable yourself, and refer to those videos, and then you start practicing these labs. It will be very easy. Okay. And yeah, so now we have seen how to declare variables, right? So now let's see how to declare methods. Okay. uh, I'll create a class here. So first, let's see the schema diagram which we have created earlier. So if you see the MySQL class, I have given example how to create the data type. I mean the database schema for school application. Okay. So let me redraw the diagram. I missed that. So I have a school here. So let's say my school name is SAC 9, and inside the school, what exactly we will have? So we will have a teachers, we'll have students, and we'll have sports, we'll have departments, and we will have subjects. So this is what we have seen, right? So here, teachers, students, departments, sports, subjects. Okay. So this is one class, right? What exactly we have in teachers class? So in teachers class we have teacher ID, teacher first name, teacher last name, date of birth, date of join, address, and what is the subjects which teacher will take. Similarly, for students, what we have: student ID, first name, last name, date of birth, which class he is belonging to, and which sports he is enrolled for. Similarly, departments. So we have department ID, department name, and department HOD, and you have the description of the department, what exactly they will do. So then sports, sport ID, name of the sport, then description of the sport, and who is the coach for the sport. Coach name we can specify, or you can have coach ID here, and we can have separate table for coach. Here's subject ID, subject name, description, and which department the subject is belonging to. So which is nothing but department ID, and we'll create one more table for coach. Coach ID, name of the coach, like first name, last name, DOB, DOJ, address, and which sport he is taking. Nothing but. So this is a typical school example. Okay, this is the school application for a SAC9 technologies. So in very basic, we know we will have teachers, we will have students, we will have departments, sports, subjects, and coaches. So at the end of core Java class, right? At the end of core Java class, you guys should be able to create the entire core Java application for school. That is the agenda of the 8 days or 10 days of class. Trust me, if you follow only the classes or only the topics which I have asked in the assignments, or the topics which we have discussed during this course curriculum, you will be able to easily create this particular application. One in MySQL database, and the other one is in core Java. So whenever you create this application, you can add you will have a lot of functionalities. Like for example, here in teacher, you add teacher, edit teacher, update teacher. student, add teacher, each student, update student, department same, sports same, subjects and coaches. So like this, if you add all the details and in the MySQL database as well, so we will create the same schema. Okay. So let's see. So now what you can recommend relate here. So these are called as class names: teachers, students, departments, sports, subjects, and coaches, and the variables which are available inside the class, right? Like teachers class and the other. These variables are all called as variables of a class. Variables of a class. Okay. Any questions? Let me take a pause here.
Harish, what can be school called in terms of Java? Harish, it is a package?
It's a project name.
Project name. Okay.
Okay, now let's see how to create. Before we create packages, let me explain what is the need of packages. Okay, so now we have almost in the schema diagram. So almost we have 6 classes, and we will have around 10 to 15 of helper classes for these 6 classes. For example, coach details or student classes or department students, something like that. So when your school, see, for now it is very basic model of the school, right? So if you start expanding, you will have lot of classes. So in order to organize all your Java classes, there is a feature in Java which is called packages. So what these packages will do in Java, it's package is nothing but a folder in a Windows. So for example, I open this one. So this is my file explorer, right? So if you see here, download. So download is one folder. So inside these downloads, we have multiple files and folders. If you see here, also there are a lot of folders which I have. So these all these are the files. So see here, these are different folders. So what this folder will contain? This folder will contain this folder, gas bills, taxes, like that. So what is the need for you? Why put all those files out here? Like in order to organize. So if a gas search everywhere here, where and all. So folder called gas, I can directly come and refer to my here. So the usage of folder similar in Java program or a Java project. If you have classes, if you want to segregate those classes folder, you you will have an option. So let me here. So there is some naming convention that you need to follow while creating packages. For example, uh, uh, let's it will be small letter for package. So com is nothing but since my is company, I'm putting as com. Suppose if it is organization, you put word. If it is education institute, you put EU. Okay, so that's the starting of the way you put the package for name. So most of us 90% will work for companies. So you put as com. So I work for a company called Fact9. So the name of company is SAC9. And what is the application I'm working on? I'm working for application called School. And what classes I'm creating here. So here in the if you see the school diagram, all the class names are here, right? So these class names are called as models: teacher model, student model, department model, sports model, subject model, and coach model. So I'll put this class as model. Okay, so I'll create a package. Yeah, so now I have got a package here. Okay, so forget about this class. This class is new class I have given, showed how to create variables for you. That's like an example class. So let's create a teacher model here. Suppose teacher class or teacher under model. So right click, new, create a class, name the class as teacher. So where is this teacher is getting created? Under com.sac9.school.model package. Okay, I don't want main method for this class. Why? Because I'm just creating the model, which means the structure of a teacher class. So that's why I will not create any main method there. Okay, teacher class is created. Okay, so uh, so if you see here, there is nothing in teacher class. So what we need to do? What does a class contain? Question: what does a class contain?
Methods and variables.
Variables and
Methods,
methods.
variables. What is that, Balu? Static block. Blocks. Class contains variables, methods, blocks, and constructor. See, only these are the contents maximum which a class can hold. Okay. Now we know how to create variables. Does anyone have question how to create variables? We have just created a while ago different type of variables like float, int, different kind of variables. Now the same thing we will be creating for a teacher class. So we know how teacher class will be there. So this is the teacher class, and teacher id, first name, last name, date of birth, date of join, address, and subjects. These are, which is subject, not subject, subject id. This is okay. So this is the variables which will be there in a teacher class. So let's create these variables in teacher class. So what is the first one? id. So teacher id. Okay, let's give the name, the same name, teacher id. What kind of data type we will use for teacher id?
Integer.
Okay, any reason why?
Numerical, Harish. Normally IDs will be numerical.
A
Or
numeric-
also you can
so you can specify byte also. Byte is also in numerical only.
but yeah, if byte is shorter form, but in integer we can give some like
Yeah, see, byte
So
will
it
hold the
depends on
value.
size.
Byte will hold the value only till 127, and the size of byte is 8 bits, and the size of integer is 32 bits, which means this many values it can hold. So that's why our application may not extend more than integer, right? So if you think you are creating a large application like Amazon, eBay, Flipkart, or like that, you can specify long. Yeah, okay, more than integer, double the size. So for our school applications, units, tens, hundreds, thousand, 10 lakh, 10 lakh crore, 10 crore, and 100 crore. So 200 crore students, more than that, you can't put in a single school, right? I mean, practically. So that's why integer can be there, which means the teacher id is up to 200,000 students will be there in a single school. Is that not possible? So integer is a right data variable which we can specify for teacher id. For first name, so
string.
string in Java will be used for first name. Similarly, last name, the name of variables in Java, remember, the name of variables should be always start with small letter followed by camel case. Camel case means the second word of a variable will be which starting with capital letter. Okay. first name, last name, and date of birth. See, for date of birth, there is a class called date in IO package. See, and remember one thing, there is a package called IO in Java, which is nothing but input and output package, where it will hold the classes like dates, input stream readers, buffer readers, all those, whatever the input. What is input? A value which is provided to process. What is output? The value which is processed. So there will be a separate package for date. So, sorry, util package. So input package is there, util package is also there. But this date class we can use inherit from java.util package, not from SQL. SQL date is different, guys. Import from java.util package. So the date is the data type. So when you import, it will come from there. And what is the value of variable? It is date of birth. Similarly, date of join is also type of date. So you use date here. Suppose you can specify a variable separately. If both the variables are the same type, and if you are not initializing variable, you can specify like this: DOB, DOJ. Or if you are also declaring, you can specify like this also. Single quotes. You pass the 2022 12 1. So there is a format DDMMYY. Let's see that later on. So it's DOB is date, DOJ is date. That's fine. And what else is there? Address and subject ID. Address is kind of string. So string address. And subject ID is, will specify subject ID in subject class as integer. So let's use here also as integer. So this is how you declare a variables in a class. Anyone have any questions so far? I consider no as, since it's silent. So next, let's see constructors. See, what is the use of constructors in Java? Okay, so I'll say there are two types of constructors in Java. So one is default constructor, the other one is parameterized constructors. Okay, so what is the use of default constructor? Let's first see use of default constructor. Okay, so what constructor will do? Before you see what is default constructor and what is parameters constructor, let's understand what exactly this constructor will do. Okay, so this constructor, so you declare some variables, you will have some methods, you will create some methods later on, and you will have some blocks, right? When you declare a teacher model class, there should be some memory should be allocated in Java, right? So Java will have some memory management. So there will be some memory that should be allocated. So, or if someone is using this teacher class, someone is creating an instance of this teacher. So this default constructor will be used to create objects or instances of this teacher class. Okay, let me see, show first how to declare a default constructor. Write public and the name of class is teacher, and you close this one. Uh, Public class and the empty parenthesis and close this block. So this is how you create default constructor, which means you are not passing any values inside this parenthesis, inside this parenthesis, you are not passing any values to set for these variables. Okay, this is called default constructor is used mainly to create object of a class. So that keep that point in mind. I'll explain more how to create object of a class in a while. So then you will understand that better. Okay. So now let's see what is parameterized constructor. Okay. Don't worry about the spell. So there are multiple variables here: teacher ID, first name, last name, DOB, DOJ, address, and subject ID. Suppose if you want to manually write everything inside this constructor, it will take time, right? So with the use of Eclipse, if you know how to use Eclipse clearly and properly, you can create parameterized constructor right away. So click on here, go to source, here generate constructor using fields. Okay, generate constructor using fields. Click on this option. It will automatically select what variables you want to create. So I want all the variables and I'll generate. So you don't worry about this comment much now. So this is the parameterized constructor. So I will tell you what is the difference between default and parameter. Default constructor means it will be used to create a object of a class, right? So when you create object of a class, it won't worry. Okay, why this will be used? Who will use this object and other, etc. But for parameter constructor, if someone want to use this object by creating object as parameter constructor, we need to pass what values they want set for these variables. While declaring object itself, use of these particular variables. Let's see an example. Let's see an example. Okay. This is a teacher class. Right? So now I'll write one class called runner class. I'll create a new package. Runner class is nothing but a main method will be there to execute all programs. Okay. I have a school runner class here. Main method. Sorry. Now teacher class is here. Okay. I want to use these variables, set some value, and print some value, either to add the teacher or delete the teacher. How can I do that? So, and the main method is there. There is nothing in this class, just a main method. Everyone understand this one, right? Now let's see how to call from this class. So if you want to call one class of Java from another class in a Java, you need to create an object. You need to create an object or instance class. Okay. What is object here? Object or instance class. So how to create object class? So first you need to have some basic fundamental and basic understanding why you are creating object and what is the use of that particular object, what you can do with that object, what you want to do with that object. These are the questions you need to have. But I'm telling you the basic question, so that whoever is coming for this new to Java, whoever has code phobia that we have code, you you need to think in this perspective, such a way you will understand how to create objects, instances of a class. Okay. The two things you want to keep in mind before you try to attend code Java class. Okay. Especially code phobia. See, if you understand string in Java, if you understand and if you understand how to declare a class in Java, understand what are variables, what are methods, and the main thing is how to declare object in Java. these three things are more than enough for you to survive as a core Java developer, not as an automation developer. I'm telling you, core Java developer. Okay, so just pay attention. If you are not understanding, I will repeat this class again and again until you guys understand this one. Because creating object, string class, creating variables, and creating class, calling methods from one class to another class is very, very important topics in core Java fundamentals. Okay. Okay. So let's see now what I want to do. Let me write in general English what I want to do. So I want to call teacher class. Because I want to set or add new teacher to the let's database. Okay, that's one. Second reason is I want to read the existing teacher values. Okay, read or get. Okay, and what other things? I want to modify the date of join of a particular teacher. Yes, number modify or update. Okay, so this is my agenda. So that I from the runner class nothing but application execution engine application execution version will start. So okay, first when you start execution, you want to do first things you want to call the teacher class. If teacher, you need to create a for this class. You need to create object in Java. So let's go to create Java. So you want to create so here you need to the it can be anything. So for example, equal to new and the run for this class because this is package, right? You do it here. So click on it will show the option import teacher from form school model. Okay, import is done. That's the compilation error for now. So this is the definition of creating an object of a class. Definition of creating object of a class. You can create this object or instance of a class. Teacher class. Any questions so far? Here is the name of class and the variable name is Harish. The instance or object name is Harish equal to new. New is a keyword in Java which is used to allocate some memory. Just keep that in mind. Whenever you call new, memory will be allocated some memory where it allocated, area, object area. Don't worry about all those. New means some memory is getting allocated in some area in Java. And for which teacher class. So this is how you create an object for a teacher. So this is a simple object. So why I created teacher object to explain about constructor. If you create one more object, teacher, for example, student equal to new teacher. Now I will create parameterized constructor. Okay, so there are some, don't worry about it, we'll fix them. For example, and first name is I will say the teacher name is Surya, and last name is and the date of birth is like 22. And the date of join would be, let's say, 2023. And address is kind of string, so I am putting double quotes. And subject ID is kind of okay. So give me a set format. See, okay. So integer date class, right? So when we say class, if you want to utilize the class variable with some value, as I mentioned, same teacher, similar way. So now I mentioned Harish here. Harish, just there are teachers. Don't worry about what is that. This thing but depreciation. So the class was allowed until Java 11, but now we are using Java 17. That's why it's dedicated, but still it will work. So there are two students, one is Harish and so which means I created two objects for a teacher class. Two objects class. One object name is Harish, the other object is so. But for Harish, I have not passed any parentheses. I mean any arguments in the parentheses. Why? Why? Because I just created an object of a teacher class with the Harish name, which means a default constructor will be used. If you don't pass any parameters, default constructor will be used. Whereas for Surya, okay, when Surya object class is created for teacher, automatically you need to pass all these objects to set for variables. These variables, that's by initializing, you need to pass the variables. But for for default constructor, we want to pass the values. But ask me a question: how to set objects from this variable? That's why we will create setter and getter methods. Setter and getter methods. What are these setter and getter methods? Now, how many variables are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. So there are 7 variables. So in order to set the values for these 7 variables, either you can use set method. You need use set method or use parameterized constructor. But in the school, so now I know what value I need to set to here because I know the rate of joining. That's why I set that. But suppose I don't know what is data, but I want to add teacher. Okay, so I'll remove this one. You see, there is a correlation error, right? You need to definitely argument match should be done. If there are 7 inputs for a default connector, you need to put 7 inputs here. So in this case, I can't use parameterized constructor because I need to have values upfront. That's you create value with object, class of object empty, and then I will create some methods, getter method. So there are 7 variables. So for 7 variables, 7 get methods will do, 7 get methods. Set methods are used to set the value of a variable, whereas get methods used to get the value of a variable. Okay, understand? So let's see how to create a getter method. When you right click, you will get this option. So go to source, and here generate getter and setter methods. Generate for what variables you want to do. I create for all the variables. So and generate this method. Now see this method here. Get teacher ID, which means it will read the teacher ID. Set teacher ID means it let the teacher ID. See, set argument here, which means the value which needs to be set. Whereas get was whatever the value which is the in these variables, that it will read and it will return it. So you will not have any for this one. So like this, for all the variables we have done together setter methods. What we have here to set values of class. Either you can do with constructor, parameterized constructor, or you can create a default constructor and use getter method of variable. Creation of object of a class. So for the teacher object, so I have done in 2 ways. One, I created the object teacher Harish equal to new teacher, which is default constructor object, and the object is nothing but constructor object. Okay, how to use? Okay, the instance or the object of a teacher is done. Now, how can you use them? Okay, let me remove this parameterized constructor for while. Let's focus on default constructor. Okay, now action is done. How can you use that object? So, why we created object? I have to add a teacher to database, or I want to set the teacher to database. If you want to set, there are 2 parameterized constructor. The other one is default constructor. So, Harish dot set. What I want to first I have to set teacher ID, right? So set teacher ID 1. So like this, every variable I will have control to set or get. So for example, if I want to read that, okay, so I'm setting a value, hardcoded value. This is hardcoded value. I'm setting a value 1 for the teacher ID, and I'm reading it. So for example, if you think how can I believe 1 is coming or not? So this data. If you have a program, this is the runner program. I don't have any teacher written here. Here, everything teacher model is here. The teacher model is here. But I can set a value of this particular teacher from here. Okay, and I can read the value of this teacher from here. So that's what we are going to do. Okay, the value is 1. What we have set is 1. So for example, 11. 11. Okay. So this is like this. You set values. So for example, Harishma set first name. Last name. You need to write the code manually, guys. So as soon as you write something, it will automatically populate. It's 90% of the code I will make Eclipse to it. I won't write it. Okay. The next one is what is that? Set others, codes, and I put the here. Okay. So like this, you can set the variables. So if you want to read variables, so I'll read the variables, but if I want the console, I'll use system out console. Okay. So let me take a pause. Let me give a quick recap. So what so we have created a class called teacher because we want to our to develop a full application. So full application we have multiple models like classes, subjects, departments, sports. So based on these models, we want to develop school application. So what we have done. So let me rename the project name is to school. To rename project, right click, refactor, click name. So my school. It's my project name. So school. For the school, I will have different models and a class. So the program and so right now I have done very big thing. It's nothing but and model. We know how of creating packages. Under package, how to create a class. You know, everyone know how to create a class. Right click new and create a class. So what does class contain? Class contains methods, variables, some static blocks. Don't worry about this, and others. Okay, and constructors. What are variables? We know how to declare variables. So for each class, what kind of variables we declare variables? Variables. We need to have data types. For example, teacher ID is kind of integer. First name is kind of string. So you add variables and constructor. So there are two types of constructor in Java. Default parameters constructor. So constructor is used to allocate some memory for the particular teacher class or object class. So default constructor is here. Parameters constructor. Now methods. So in each variable value, there will be two methods for each variable. One is to set the value, and the other one is to retrieve the value. Okay, we created this set and data methods. See, we did all this code, right? We made the to generate this code. We declare just the variables. Right click, go to source. Here you will have options to create. So let me create a string. and so we get constructed using this, which is number parameter, and we use getter method generate. So when this one automatically all getters are all generated. So this 90% of code is written by request only. So we just need to know what is there. So in Java, you know classes, and you have created class with the context of a class, contains variables, methods, and constructors. Now you want to call from one class to another class, which is from school run to your execution point. On this execution point, I want to call the teacher class. So teacher, uh, we know how to create object teacher, which will be used to allocate. Okay, and we know how to create parameters. One parameters we pass the values of the entire thing in single parenthesis. So this is what how we will do a class. Now, how do you get a set methods? So object is there. The name of object is Harish. So Harish dot set each Harish dot first name, last name. Suppose if you want to reprint same thing, so paste print, do your print statement here, and let's instead of first name, get first name. Get name. So 11 Harish Ramasani. This is how suppose if you next line to remove the line statement and same line. Okay. So Harish, 11 is the teacher ID, teacher first name, teacher last name. Okay. System out of print is a statement which is used to print in the console. Okay. Line is next line. Print means it will print, keep on printing this one. Okay. Let me take a pause. Any questions so far? So if no one will answer, I'll repeat the class again in the beginning.
Harish, one doubt. Is machine default constructor is mandatory at another class to get returns statically?
Yes, yes. So see, you need to get default. Okay, I forgot one more thing. See, the mode teacher, right? This teacher class. This class is called as POJO class in Java. POJO means POJO, pure object class, which means a class means many things. Even you can write some inherited methods, that method, you can write rubbish on all these class. But we have just maintain the standard of POJO, pure object Java class. If someone will ask, this is a very important question. I ask everyone if I take interviews. Okay, what is POJO class in Java means? Pure, it's a pure object class. Pure object class contains variables. Pure object class contains only variables, default constructor, and parameter constructor. Only these three can have. Suppose if your requirement is not with parameters constructor, variables, default constructor, and getter method. If class contains only this information, then this class is called POJO class, pure object Java model class. Yeah. Yeah, continue your question.
Yeah, Harish. Default, I mean, machine for constructor is mandatory.
Is why? Because this default constructor will be used for you to create object class. Here you are telling teacher Harish. So if I click control click this, the declaration is coming back. to default constructor. Means the object is created by a default constructor. Why constructor is used? I clearly told you, constructor is used to allocate memory for a class object.
And yeah, one more thing I should know the right time to ask questions.
Yeah,
Can I access this classes in animation also remote?
yeah. So I will upload this project, so you can download this property in your Eclipse.
Oh, okay.
But
So what is
I
the medium?
will not update until class 8. Okay, you need to see these classes and you need to create on your own. You are not
In future in profile, I'm asking the range.
yeah,
Not this. Okay, got it.
we can update it.
Okay, okay.
Any other questions? Okay, so except for Ketan and Uday, everyone stay in the call. I'll repeat the class again from beginning. So now we know we are, let me continue one. Let's see or creating object in class we completed and create a value from user input. So it will not take 15 more. It take 15 more to complete this. Okay, see cool runner here. We are hard coding value here. Harish, Pemsani, others, and student. Sometimes you can hard code like this. It's a different, right? Suppose if in a day you want to add teachers, every time you come and modify like this and then you run the program so that it will go and add address. It's not the right way to do, right? We need to accept the input from the user. Means usually we will have web portal from web page tab, but this Java application we will accept user from the input. So right now, see the program, you're seeing only output. How can we give input from system? Okay, let's see that. So for that, we will have two things. So buffer reader, you'll have a sorry, read the input from system. So you have two ways to do this one. One is scanner, which is very simple. You can do by yourself. The other one is uh, buffer input buffer reader. Buffer, buffer reader, buffer reader. I don't know. Let's see the buffer reader. Buffer reader. Okay, it's from the package. Buffer reader. We are equal to buffer reader. You can ask. See, we can create this buffer reader class. How come you are creating object for buffer reader? In the package, it's not because I imported buffer from Java.io package. Install Java will be there inside your Java installation folder. There I'm reading buffer reader class. So buffer reader, put new buffer reader, pass the reader here. Since initially I don't have reader, you pass new reader. What input stream? I'm you use this system somewhere else. Can someone where?
Controller is?
Yeah, it's highlighted in the below, right? System out means printing. Now, what we want to in from console we want to give input. So I'm using input. So system input. Whatever I input here, say for example, I take this one, Harish Sani. So this will be input stream. this stream reader will buffer and see what it is there, and it will print out here. For example, remove all these print statements. So this BR is there. I'll use the BR and I'll put BR. Okay. Enter teacher ID. You not read. So you need to know, right, what you enter. So it will enter each ID. Okay. So when you like that, what you do, you store that in teacher ID. Whatever you are reading, you read like this. Dr. dot read. Here is nothing buffer there, and this method is used to read what we have provided. So what this reader will read, this will be format of string. String is what like this. But we want the teacher ID is integer, right? So we want to convert string into integer here. We want to convert string into integer. How can you do that? Convert string into integer. So there is a primitive data type integer. Pass, and it will take the input and it will pass the string inside that particular method. It will be converted as integer and it will be stored into teacher ID. Now the blank spaces to one explaining. Okay. So okay, now what is the agenda? Instead of hard coding the values here, the hard values, we want to take the input from the system, which means from console, and set values agenda. So if I want to do that, there are two ways to do. One is with scanner class, the other one is buffer reader class. So buffer reader, we are equal to new buffer reader, and will take input stream reader as input. So you'll pass input stream reader, and from where the input is coming from. It is coming from the system, and system plus dot in. System means it will print here out. It means it. So this will come under. So if you want to read a line, okay. So doesn't know, right, how many lines will be there. So you will ask, okay, so this will print out here. So whatever you will enter, so you want it like this. We are read line. If you read like this, it teacher whatever you enter will be kind of string. You want to convert string into integer, you will use this method integer dot parsing. So then you will pass teacher ID to set teacher ID. Okay, let's execute this one and we will see. Enter ID. So what I do is I'll enter. I click enter. It has set this one. Okay, now the teacher ID value is 76, but not that's why you can't see. So Harish get teacher ID. Bring this in below and we'll see. Enter teacher ID. I'll say 56. Enter. 56, it's printed here. Make more clear and add a text. Enter the student ID is, sorry, enter the teacher ID is okay. So I put that button. So you see, enter teacher ID is 34, which means okay. Now your input from the console. Okay, that and when you read get teacher ID, it is coming at 34. Similarly, you set for student first name. So here I'll ask I wanted here I will do teacher enter teacher first name. So here what I'll do is I'll remove this hardcoding one. BR dot is the statement which will be used to get the input. So here for BR it will come what I'm giving. So how to read that BR dot readline is a method we use. And similarly, I'll ask user enter teacher last name. So again I'll do BR dot readline. That it is entered. It will be like this. Now I do again BR dot readline. So now I have done but output will be right accurately. So let's see how to see that. So I'll print out those. Teacher first name here, teacher last name, teacher address. Get teacher first name here and get teacher and get teacher. Any confusion or anyone?
No.
Very simple. Yeah.
We haven't given the input for the address, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So you
Yeah.
just select it.
I'll clarify this. See, input means we are doing input, we are reading the input, but for the user, the enter text, the display text I have given. Enter first name, last name. This is the display text. For our understand, even if I comment this one, if I don't give display text,
We
you
can
can still give the input. If you see the system is expecting input here blank. So for example, it is expecting ID, then it is expecting first name, then it is expecting last name, then it's expecting address. This is because you are a programmer, but if you give this program to some they know, definitely they will know, right? What input, what sequence you should enter. So this is the output. So that's why this is in front of every input what you are taking. I feel here. So you teacher ID. So I enter 23 and teacher first name, teacher last name, enter teacher. So now you are getting this text. So this simple text. So then enter address cutting in display way. Okay. This is add one time, right? Which is nothing but Harish teacher. So you add here Harish teacher Harish. For the Harish teacher, you add all these things. So tomorrow I'll show to add multiple teachers and how to make connection database directly. Okay. Now you're inputting here what is the 20 Harish Ramsani instance. So all these are entered into database. If you Java code, so here it is. See, if the numbers were coming right, so in the drive link, whatever I have shared, kindly class in the table. This new one and those tables I'll create them. So before to next class, you must be familiar with this video. Otherwise, you won't understand the next class. Come back to and so go to this compulsory by next class. If you guys can cover these two videos in next 2 hours, I can take the class after 4 hours again today, more hours. So we'll try to complete this database connection from Java today. Okay. So what I so right away after this, can you go to these two videos today at the evening EST Melbourne time. We'll all connect again to see how to create whatever we have entered here. This should be automated database. So that one program we will do. Okay. A few small Java concepts if you are not understand or fine. See the class, do the lab. Whatever I have done in the class, do the same thing after the class and get familiarized. So while doing other jobs like no, we are inserting some list to database by creating full application. So this class is like this method is used like this method you passed in this. So you will understand this. So you need to read root concept so that so if you want to go for root concept, it will eat 10 more hours of time. So that's why I'm directly telling what is essential only to core Java developer. Parallelly, when particular concept is coming, you learn it. Okay. Okay, fine. So I'll upload this video in while under day 3. So kindly and I'll pick this if we have in the evening. Otherwise, we'll connect tomorrow. I'll send everyone. I'll put in meetings in weekdays and we'll have different times in meetings so that we can come to this course in next coming days. Question before I say.
Video as I was not able to attend for more than 30 or 40 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
If any questions, I'll get.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.